Live from Santa Monica College, this is the Angone & Co. Show.
This is the Angone & Co. Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We have not talked to you in a really long time. My name is Kevin Coe, and on my left is Trevor Angone.
Oh.
It's been a really long time since we've done one of these.
Why don't you tell the listeners what happened, Coe?
Yeah, I haven't seen Angone in the 2 weeks, so every time we literally do a podcast is when I see the guy. So I haven't seen this guy in like 2-3 weeks because what happened recently was sprained my ankle, severe ankle sprain. Actually, I don't even know if there's anything wrong with the muscles. Haven't even gotten an MRI.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I mean I got an X-ray, and what happened was I was playing basketball, trying to split a fast break, trying to split a double team on a fast break, stepped on the guy's foot, ankle turned the wrong way.
Long story short, pretty much looks like there's a grapefruit on the side of his ankle, you know? Or at least there was.
It's kind of disgusting, but I still can't walk on it. But you know what's really cool about this, Angone? I get to have handicap parking until October. Yeah.
Damn, dude, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I get to park closer than everyone else.
That is pretty crazy. No, that is. So, yeah, man, it has been a long time. Yeah. So, I mean, last time we were in the booth, I think we were really into Dwight-Watch, which has, pretty much gone right into the trash can, which is, good. We'll get to that in a little bit. But, that was pre-All-Star break. That was, I think, right in the thick of, Puig Mania jumping off right at the beginning there. So
that's when Ian Kennedy was throwing around Puig's head and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's when I was ready to go hunt down Kennedy. Yeah, no, for sure. I remember that.
Yeah, definitely. But you kind of brought it down a little bit, but let's go over real quick. We're going to talk about today. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have no time limit for today because we haven't been here in a really long time, so we got a lot to say. But what we're going to talk about today, one, we're going to talk lots and lots of Lakers. Dwight-Watch is over. Over, ladies and gentlemen. It's kaput.
Thank God.
It's gone to the state of Texas, and we're going to touch on that a little bit. We're going to talk about these moves that Kupchak has made, sending Nick Young, Wesley Johnson. We're going to get on with that. How 2014 and 2013 is looking for the Lakers. Next up, we're going to talk some Dodgers. We're going to talk Puig. How bad was this All-Star game and how boring was this All-Star game?
Worst ever.
At least I think so, and both of us think so. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how good the second half looks for the Dodgers, because I'm pretty sure me and Angone both think things look pretty bright.
So does Vegas.
And last but not least, solo shots. We're back. We're both touching on some topics. And Angone has some historical things to just get on about that not a lot of people have been paying attention to. And I gotta say a little something about the WWE. Yeah, SmackDown!
Brother!
It's falling off a bit. But let's get on with this podcast. Finally, Dwight-Watch is over.
God, it couldn't have come sooner.
It feels kind of weird, doesn't it?
No, it feels great. I mean,
that too.
To be honest, man, after the, everyone's been talking about, how, Dwight is gone and, Ice Cube blew up. He was really upset. A lot of
that was awesome.
That was pretty funny. But there's so many Laker fans that, are so upset about it. But, dude, I'm telling you, I could not be happier. I just feel so great that we do not have to pay that guy over the next 6 years, $20 million a year, whatever the hell we would have had to pay him. Such a waste of money, man. I mean, honestly, PJ and Shaq said it best. I mean, what did Phil say? He said, congratulations, and he'll do great with the Houston Astros, which, says it all right there. The Rockets, I mean, Hakeem and Drexler, they got them to, a high level in the late 90s. They got a couple of championships, but honestly, that is all the dream. Now you have DH going there trying to recreate what Hakeem did in the late 90s, but, James Harden is not Clyde Drexler, and Jeremy Lin is not Robert Horry, okay? So good luck, but to be honest, just like Shaq said, he's not built for this town. This town is bigger than him. The Lakers are bigger than him, and, the players that come in and play with the Lakers, they have a historical idea of the game. They're students of the game. They respect the game. They respect the franchises. I'll give you a little inside story.
Go for it.
One of my cousins, he's a valet at a super high-end hotel, over in the west side of town, where Dwight used to show his big head half the time.
Yeah.
And he said that he saw him, maybe a dozen times over the first, a couple of months during the offseason.
Okay.
And I mean, come on, dude. If I saw the same valet guy, a dozen times, I would at least, recognize him. Be like, oh, it's that guy that parked my car or whatever,
Yeah.
Dude, he said that those dozen times from the first to the last, no eye contact, said nothing, just thinks he's hot shit. you know what? You're going to be hot as hell because now you're in Houston, all right? So have a great time in H-Town. In the meantime, hey, we'll focus on winning championships and celebrating great legacies like Kobe and Shaq and Magic. And, you know, you can have fun down there in the Gulf. And, hey, hope there isn't an oil spill in the near future, bro. So, you know, good luck out there. You know, anything you want to add about this whole Dwight situation, Co?
You know, I want to hate on this guy just as much as the guy on my left, literally. But I mean, I can't. Let me tell you how I feel about this whole thing. Dwight left for Houston. Obviously, I don't care if he thinks he's hot shit, as you say, if he thinks he's cool, because he left for Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. And by the way, Clyde was a lot better when he was in Portland all those years,
dude,
in
honestly.
my opinion. He went to Houston at the tail end of his career. But they got Hakeem, they got Yao Ming, they got Clyde Drexler at his press conference. We have better players as statues outside of Staples Center than what they had there.
We could fill out an entire NBA roster with greats that would, you know, their greatness would outshine anyone at that press conference.
You could argue players all time in the NBA. If you had Lakers in the field, you would take the Lakers.
I mean, how can't you? I mean, you know, if I'm going to put together, you know, a starting five versus any starting five.
First off, it's like, who the hell would start at center?
Yeah, no,
you know
right?
what I mean,
right? What centers out there, you know, that are all-time greats that did not play for the Lakers? No, you're totally right, man. I mean, unless you wanted to, you know, take Shaq from the Heat or something like that. But everyone knows that Shaq with the Lakers was just the most dominant Shaq of all time. You know?
And you know, I know how you said you were really happy about Dwight leaving. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. When Dwight Howard is healthy, when Dwight Howard is not in the physical condition he was in last year, because obviously he came off his back surgery, he was dealing with shoulder injury most throughout the year. He's good. He is good. And we got caught up in the hoopla. We got caught up in all the drama that he came with this year. And obviously it's because Dwight wanted to be that guy in the franchise. And I don't know if he is now in Houston. But obviously they're giving him the attention that he wants. And I'm happy for the guy. I mean, I wasn't going to be happy if he left. But I wasn't going to be heartbroken if he left either. I'm just in an apathetic mood about this guy. It's filled with apathy. If he stayed, I wouldn't have minded, to be honest. Because, you know, there are players that want to play with Dwight Howard. He's a great defender.
Yeah, but honestly,
when he does try.
I think that those numbers are shrinking. I mean, after the way he's conducted himself the last two seasons, I don't know where I want to go. Oh, fire this coach. Oh, I want to be in Disney movies. You know what? Honestly, good riddance. You know what? You lost all your LA privileges. Stay the hell out.
But Angone, if he just came to LA last year, got traded here, and if he just said, hey, I want to commit, I want to stay, I want to be a Laker for the rest of my career, wouldn't we have not given a shit? And we would have been on this guy's, you know, we would have supported this guy throughout this whole year if he signed that extension in the beginning of the year.
True, though, what you just said says it all. If he was not even the healthy, but if he was healthy, how he would have wanted to. See, that's everything. He didn't want to do anything out here. He didn't want to play with Kobe. He didn't want to be a Laker. He just saw it as a means to an end to get into his free agency period, which is fine. You know, but the whole idea that if he was healthy, he would have been, you know, like this great player for us last year. He didn't want to be here. Like we've said in previous podcasts, you look at the look on the guy's face. He wanted nothing to do with the West Coast except for getting some sitcoms, you know, made, you know, for himself. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I think everyone just came into the situation last year, you know, the whole Dwight Howard, Steve Nash.
It was a dice roll, yeah.
Everyone came into the situation with the highest expectations, the highest hopes. It was the perfect situation, right? Mm-hmm. Because everyone was saying these pieces fit together, unlike the Miami Heat situation. You don't even have to wait a year to get used to each other because these pieces just fit so well together. Everyone came in thinking it was going to be great. Dandelions everywhere, going to be fine. But no, it obviously wasn't. There was a lot of drama. There were a lot of injuries. There were a lot of things that didn't go right. And I do think if Dwight Howard came here, if he signed that 5-year extension or that contract, I would have supported him until that contract ended.
Well, yeah, I mean, all Laker fans would have. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you have to support the guys who are wearing your jersey. But honestly, I just feel so happy that we have those open 6 years to sign someone else.
And I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and you know, tell, you know, all the people out there that are listening that I think the Lakers would have been better next year without Dwight Howard. Because I still think they would have been able to sign all the mid-level exceptions and the veterans minimums that they did right now. And we're going to get to those in a little bit. But Imagine if this roster right now that was concocted by Mitch Kupchak with one mini mid-level exception, which was used to get Chris Kaman, and all these veterans minimums, getting Nick Young, getting Wesley Johnson, getting Jordan Farmar. Imagine if we had Dwight in the middle of that, Angone. It wouldn't have been bad.
You know what? But we already saw that last year. We saw a couple of games with him in there, and like Nash just came out and said a couple days ago, this offense is going to flow so much better with him out of the picture. Oh, give me the ball down low. I want to be the figure of the focal point of the offense. It's like, no, dude. Powell completely destroys you from an offensive standpoint. It's like, if Powell is on the floor at the same time as you, I am never giving you the ball. Why? Why should I give you the ball? So you can get hacked and go to the line with that crazy, oh my God. When I think about him shooting free throws with his little wannabe jump shot situation and how he just flings it up there, it's almost like an inverted skee ball throw. It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly though, dude, bottom line, that chump is out of town. He rode his horse down to Houston, good luck. Have a good one. Hey, maybe you can make it to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, I know for the Houston fans, that'd be like winning a championship, So,
I don't even think they're top 4.
No, dude.
Houston's not even top 4 in my opinion.
In the West. They're not even top 4 in the West.
That's what I meant, which is incredible because think about it. They got Dwight Howard. They got him with James Harden. They got Jeremy Lin, Chandler Parsons. Who else do you have? Dude, on that team?
Honestly, Dwight does not exist in the fourth quarter. We saw that last year. You cannot give him the ball. Even in the last 2 minutes, you can't throw him the ball because then all they have to do is foul him. Yes, they can intentionally foul him, but bottom line, you cannot throw the guy the ball in the fourth quarter in a close game and ask him to do stuff for you because all they got to do is hack him and send his ass to the line because he's like some, Petri dish project where his arms are so big. We thought Shaq had a hard time shooting free throws. At least he had that motion figured out.
And Dwight, if you hated Kobe taking all these shots away from you, you didn't improve that much when you go to James freaking Harden.
Yeah, I think he took more shots than Kobe per game, didn't he? Probably the most selfish guard in the league. I want to go play for Houston because I can't get my extra $5 million and play for the number 1 seed in the West. Yeah, that's definitely good ideals to go join up with. I think they deserve each other. But dude, honestly, that ship has sailed. That chump is gone. Dude, let's talk about our boys coming up next year because honestly, I am feeling this one-year roster. It feels like 08 again, dog. It feels like the championship years. Honestly, I wanted them to bring back Sasha. I heard, oh no, that would be ridiculous. A couple of my roommates were like, oh my God, you're crazy. But I remember we were talking about signing Lamar too. I wish we would bring back more of the old crew. It's a 1-year project. What's the worst that can happen,
I say bring back Lamar. I say bring back DJ Benga. I say bring back Josh Powell. Make this year a reminiscent year for Laker fans.
Dude, it'll be like a nostalgic tour,
It's finally putting the seal on the envelope of this era, this Kobe Powell era, in my opinion.
Yeah, you bring in Kaman for a year, let him start maybe next to Powell. Powell goes to power forward. That's a really big post that you have to deal with. Have Wesley Johnson coming off the bench. I know some people are talking about Jordan Hill maybe starting, but, dude, bottom line, I really like this 1-year situation we have coming up. And honestly, I know you said you wanted to, not having Dwight on the floor couldn't help our situation, but man, like Nash said, I think it's going to really help the flow of the offense. And I just hope everyone stays healthy because I would really like to see what this would look like,
I don't like comparing the two so often, but this is honestly too good for me to pass up. So I'm going to give you a little quick comparison here. Last year, Ray Allen left the Boston Celtics, right? People were talking about last year, before the start of last season. Everyone was talking about, you got to blow this team up, you got to do this, you got to do that. They didn't. They brought in a bunch of people. They brought in the Jet, Jason Terry. They brought in Courtney Lee. They brought in a bunch of guys who they thought would give them one last shot with the core they had.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Lakers are doing, in my opinion, right now. No, Ray Allen and Dwight Howard aren't the same players. No, they're not exactly in the same positions, but the Lakers did something the Boston Celtics didn't do, is that this 1-year plan, it's going on. We're going to do this. We're going to have this core of Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol for 1 more year. We're going to try this for 1 more year. We're going to bring in these players to try to be competitive with these two for 1 more year. But unlike the Celtics, we have a plan next year. Mm-hmm. We have opportunities next year.
A plan that does involve tanking.
The Celtics didn't have all the cap room the Lakers are going to have next year. The Lakers are about to be, maybe an 8, 7, 6 seed next year, and we're going to have the opportunity to get even better than that
Honestly,
year
dude,
after.
I wish Kobe would sit out this entire next season just like D Rose did. Anybody else too? Hey, Nash, you want to sit out? Go for it. Get a ticket in the lottery for Wiggins, dude. We've seen crazier things. You get the Bulls pull out Derrick Rose out of their ass with the freaking #1 pick when they were the 10th seed. You know, I mean, like crazier stuff has happened. But the last thing I will say about the Lakers, man, 2014. 100% clear cap with Melo, LBJ, Paul George coming onto the market. I mean, dude, obviously re-signing Kobe is, you don't have to think about it because that's, there's already been so many discussions about how much he's going to sign for, what they can get him for. So you don't even have to think about that. You re-sign Kobe. Hopefully they bring back Powell for maybe like $7, maybe $8 million a year, something like that. Yeah. And then you put all your energy into trying to get LBJ or Carmelo, maybe both, but maybe pairing LBJ or Carmelo with like a Paul George, in a little bit more of a supporting role.
Did you hear what Paul George said, actually?
I saw that situation with Kobe where he said it'd be hard to say no to Kobe. And, I mean, you have so many guys out there who know that Kobe is the greatest since Jordan. I mean, it would be hard to say no to that guy.
And tell me why I'm seeing these headlines on SportsCenter and on ESPN about Lakers to pursue Carmelo and LeBron. No shit!
Yeah, honestly.
That's what we've been saying for like 3 years,
Yeah,
right?
no, honestly. Seriously.
It's ridiculous, but, the last thing I got to say about that is next year's going to be a fun year to watch, in my opinion. It's going to be Nick Young, who I love watching because he just chucks up shots. Wesley Johnson, he has potential. He was the number 4 overall pick. I did like watching him at Syracuse. Has some trouble creating his own shot, but he could fit right into a system with a great point guard like Steve Nash. I'm excited for next year. And to be completely honest, I'm more excited right now than I was in the middle of last year.
No, absolutely. I would 100% agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. But Lakers, I think we can both agree that one thing we can just 100% agree on. Thank God this Dwight-Watch thing is over.
Yeah, and I think everyone in sports media across the world is glad with us. This stupid little drama that he creates, he thinks he's so important. I mean, LeBron got so much crap just for the decision that took place over maybe a couple of weeks. This guy, it's been a 3-year ordeal, and he thinks he's worth every second of it. It's just so ridiculous. The guy's character is just like so despicable that I am so glad he is not in town. But c'est la vie, have a good one. We'll see you hopefully, in the Western Conference Finals if you guys can make it, because you can trust in one thing and count on one thing, and that's Kobe. So, you know what, we have our greatest. You can, go be the 15th greatest center of all time down in Houston. No problem for us. We're good. We got the top 10 pretty much,
And my man Angone is laying it down on Dwight right now. But Dwight, I just want you to know, I do not feel that way about you, man. It's just Angone.
That would be sweet if he was listening, though.
Yeah,
He should tweet us out. And,
knowing how sensitive the guy is, he's probably listening.
Hey, hopefully someone's making him listen to it.
Listening to every little thing on his Twitter newsfeed, all that. Just a sensitive guy. Couldn't handle L.A. Good riddance for both parties.
Honestly. Good riddance to that, and good riddance to basketball season until it starts this October. In the meantime, though, Puig, did you check out that All-Star game this weekend?
I think you just called me Puig. I would love if you kept doing that for the rest.
No, your new nickname is Puig.
All right, but no, I did not even watch the All-Star game. I actually, I literally flipped on the channel. I just kept flipping back to see Mariano come in.
Yeah, I kept it on double play just so I could see Kershaw pitch, and then that was it. He pitched one inning, and I was over. I checked in at the end to see what the score was, but dude, Bochy. But you can't even put it on Bochy. These rules, these All-Star Game rules, this year you have the returning managers from last World Series. Dude, C-League, don't you understand? Nobody gives a shit about last year, okay? If you got to do what all the other sports do, you make the managers or the head coaches or whatever, you pick the hottest #1 team in each league. You got the AL #1 team, NL #1 team. You take their managers, and, forget all this last year crap. What is in your ears, dude? I mean, it's honestly, I can't make any sense of it. And
why the hell does this All-Star game determine who gets home court advantage or home field advantage in the World Series?
You know what? Someone made a great point too. Because this game means something now, that's why we saw such a boring game the other day. Exactly. I mean, these guys are playing too hard.
It was well managed, by Leland. I thought it was kind of bad how we brought in Mariano in the 8th, but I got how that made sense, because what if he brought in another pitcher and they just blew it up? Mariano would have no chance to pitch in the 9th.
Exactly.
But I mean, it was just so unwatchable.
It was a lot of
to
like
me.
ceremony. I felt like Bane in Dark Knight Rises. No
Exactly.
need to stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne.
That
it's
was
just
really good. Wow.
You like that?
You never showed me that before, man.
See, man, we got to get our sound bites going so we can do some more impressions,
That
bro.
was a really good
Got to get some callers going up in here,
But yeah, dude. No, I mean, it didn't make it any better that there was like one Dodger. in the
Yeah,
entire
honestly,
festivities.
how much more exciting would it have been if you had Puig leading off or batting second, you know?
Just off the top of my head, two guys that would have been great for me in the home run derby. First off is Puig,
Yeah.
obviously.
Or Co, as you know.
Yeah, or people like to call him Co.
Yeah.
But Hanley hits the hell out of the ball really damn hard.
He's been crushing it, dude. He has like
Lately,
8 home runs the last
exactly,
month
but,
or something.
That's the thing about the Dodgers struggling all year. They're not going to give credit to a team that's been doing really well in 1 month.
No, honestly.
And the Dodgers are looking real well right now. They're finally 500. Finally, we've gotten to this point where we were like, oh my God, are we ever going to get to 500 in the earlier seasons?
It was tough for a minute. We were like,
Yeah.
10 games under
Yeah.
5 or something like that?
It was bad.
Hopefully we can start rolling,
Yeah, so literally, it's All-Star break. We're at 500, which means we're starting from scratch. We're starting from, we basically have like a 0-0 record. Let's see how we do with our guys healthy. Let's see, and we were talking about this earlier. Let's not even trade Ethier. Let's not even trade Crawford.
Got to keep all 4 of them the way we're getting injured.
Because it seems like one guy is always getting hurt, right, Angone?
It was literally like less than 24 hours when Crawford came back and then Matt went back to the 15-day
Yeah,
DL. So
exactly.
you honestly, you don't have a choice right now. You have to keep them all until maybe all 4 of them are healthy for like 2 or 3 months. Then you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe we should start thinking about moving one of these guys. In the meantime, though, especially with all the time off that Mattingly gives these guys, you honestly, you cannot touch any of them. And, Co, we're not the only ones who think the Dodgers are going to keep rolling. I just saw an update that says that Vegas has the Dodgers pegged as the NL West favorite for the rest of the season. And since we're, like a game back maybe or something like that,
Yeah.
they're saying that we're going to win the division, which, I could care less what Vegas has to say. But, you can read the writing on the wall. These guys are batting, just...
Yeah.
God, so much better than they had earlier in the season or even last year. I mean, like in the last month, I've probably seen, 4 or 5 games where we've had over 10 hits, and that is just amazing. That usually produces about, 5 or 7 runs, so.
Yeah, and it really helps that everyone's starting to hit a little bit now.
Everybody's starting to hit,
Like, it's not just like one or, obviously headlined by Hanley Ramirez and Yasiel Puig.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone else is putting their ins, You got Juan Uribe, who's doing pretty consistently over at third base. I like the guy now. Like, his interviews are awesome. He's just so passionate. He wants to do whatever is good for the team. Hanley at short, obviously. I like that switcheroo at Mark Ellis, Schumacher, and Punto at second. I don't mind. Excuse me. I don't mind which one of them are there. Preferably Schumacher, just for me. But, we got Angone at first, AJ, and Fedorovich. Who's got some power, surprisingly, at the catching position.
I know he got sent back a couple weeks ago, but, yeah, me personally, I like Ellis at second. I think he has 4 or 5 home runs, which I think is fine for a second baseman. I mean, it's not Robinson Cano or,
and he's always been
Pedroia we're talking about.
He's been so consistent ever since he was at Oakland,
No,
too.
Absolutely. And you know what I think is, as we know, we're NL, fans, pitching, and, Nolasco, I think he got maybe banged up a little bit last outing, but not really. I think he maybe gave it 2 or 3 runs.
Yeah,
we just didn't score anything.
I was at the game, actually, and first time ever pitching at Dodger Stadium, gives up 3 runs. He didn't do that bad. It's just the Dodgers gave him absolutely no run support.
Yeah, and the game before that on the road, he pitched a dandy. I think he had 0 earned runs, and we won maybe 3 or 4 to nothing or something like that. So
I think we won 1-0.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, that's how good it was.
So even if and then we won 1-0 with Greinke a couple days later. So at least they're able to pull out those really close ones by maybe a run or so. I mean, if our starting pitching squad can stay healthy through the end of the year, I mean, I think that Kershaw, Greinke, Ryu, Nolasco, and then, that 5th spot, maybe 5, maybe Capuano. I mean, it just depends. But those 4, if those 4 can stay healthy and we can find someone to fill in that 5th spot, I'll go into the postseason with that lineup, no problem. I mean, Kershaw, best pitcher in the league, and no one in the league, when Kershaw is dealing that 12-6 fastball, can get close to it. A Pedroia, who has one of the highest batting averages every single season,
couldn't touch it.
He barely nicked it, and you're talking about one of the best guys in the league. He barely got a piece of it just to keep his the pitch count going. So, dude, anything that Kershaw and Puig are leading, I'm all about it. But if Bochy would get his head out of his ass and he would have picked up Puig and taken one of those injury spots, or even started Kershaw, but you can't expect anything less from I'm going to stop. I'm going to start getting all crazy on Bochy, but
dude, who cares about Bochy.
Yeah, honestly,
For real,
who
though.
does give a shit about Bochy?
I really do not.
But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. I mean, I think we pick it up tomorrow. We start our next series with Washington. I think it might be at Washington. So
Yeah.
they've been playing really good this season. That'll be a nice test to see how we're doing post All-Star break for sure.
It's going to be good to see that, and it really helps. Dodgers are not playing in the not-so-good division. The NL
Yeah.
West isn't that great
Yeah,
this year.
we swept the Giants and went straight into sweeping the D-backs. So
Yeah.
that was great, man. We just got to have some more series with these guys, you know?
D-backs are literally just 5 games over 500 in the first place, so it's
Yeah.
not that far off for the Dodgers. I
Exactly.
think we both agree they're going to do well. And you know what? For a team that's like spending, thinking about the now, they have 2 potential Rookie of the Year candidates, and Yasiel Puig and Hyunjin Ryu.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, the Dodgers are everything you could ask for, and it's starting to roll along like we predicted earlier. We weren't panicking. We weren't freaking out about the Dodgers. Just do we have to make a fire sale? Do we have to start selling? No.
No, we're good, man.
We're
If anything, we're buyers still.
We're doing what we were supposed to do, and we're finally meeting our expectations, which I love.
Yeah.
Moving on. Last segment of the show.
Oh.
Solo shots.
Favorite segment for all you listeners out there, we know. Who's going to get this one started, Co?
I'm going to describe what we're going to do real quick, and I'm going to hand the keys over to you.
Do it.
Solo shots,
Do
as
it.
you know, or if you
Do
don't
it.
know yet, it's just literally solo shots. We each take turns taking a shot at something, somewhere, somehow.
Someone.
First up to bat, or first up to take a free throw, please do not Dwight Howard this free throw, Angone.
No.
We're going with Trevor Angone. What's your solo shot of the week, man?
All right, man. My solo shot this week is kind of a surprising one because you know me. I've always have the Giants in the back of my mind, winning 2 of the last 3 World Series, which really pisses me off. Because we couldn't cash in any of those in the 2006, 2007, 8 run when it was Manny Wood, and we always got beat by the Phillies in the NLCS. It was complete horse shit. So in the meantime, I was on Wikipedia and I was trying to look up some random stat for the Dodgers, and I was looking at our championships, and first thing came to my mind was the Giants, and I was like, oh, you know what? I got to double check on the Giants and see where they're at after these last 2 World Series they picked up. I go to their page, and what I have heard, I've not heard one talking head mention this since the Giants won their first one in 2010 or the second one in 2012. But with the 2010 World Series, they tied us, okay? They went from 5 to 6. With this 2012 World Series, they went from 6 to 7, okay? They leapfrogged us, and it only took them 3 years, all right? I mean, 88 for us, that was great, and that took the lead. But, dude, all it took was 3 short years and then winning 2 World Series out of those 3 years, and now they've leapfrogged us. Now we are looking up at the Giants, the LA Dodgers, one of the greatest, the second greatest, or, 1 and 2 Yankees, Dodgers. But now we're looking up at the Giants? What? Because Frank McCourt wanted to come in here and run it like his own little personal piggy bank and buy all of his son's yachts and, oh, God, don't even get me started on him either. I'm just going to start going crazy. We're going to have to rate this freaking double R-rated,
That could be another solo shot in itself.
that could be a solo shot. We'll have to save that for when he makes news again.
Yeah.
It'll probably when he pisses away all of his millions from selling the Dodgers. But honestly, with Magic especially being in the ownership group, Magic being obviously number 1 Laker of all time, him and Bird, as far as I say, the greatest duo in NBA history, Magic and Bird are so much more important than Jordan as far as like a revolutionary standpoint for the game and taking it from the trenches and elevating it to as high as like the level of the NFL. So in my mind, it's always Magic and Bird. And from a Magic and Bird standpoint, Magic knows the race. He knows that, the Celtics have their 17 and we have our 16. And even though, I always tell people, oh, well, when the Celtics won 8, we were saying between 8 and 11 of their championships was with Russell Co. So if you take Russell out of the equation, they have as many as the Bulls. Take Jordan out of the equation, the Bulls have as many as freaking the Bucks. But getting off topic, but if Magic is in the ownership group and he puts so much emphasis on trying to chase down the Celtics, he's a Laker at heart. He hates that the Celtics have our number right now when it comes to number of world championships. He's now the owner of the Dodgers, and our chief rival, just as chief as the Celtics are to the Lakers, the San Francisco Giants have leapfrogged us within the last 12 months, and I haven't heard anyone say anything, and that is a complete outrage, complete horse shit that within 3 years they were able to get 2 quick little World Series. I mean, yeah, great pitching, Lincecum and Kane, they've been great the last couple of years, but dude, I mean, just lucky timing with, Gigantor over at third base, Kung Fu Panda, whatever the hell they call him, and just what I mean. I can't even name anybody else. Buster Posey. I mean, I'll give him mad credit. He's a great player, probably the best catcher in the league.
Agreed.
You know, I mean, he's amazing. You know, but between other than Posey and Lincecum and Kane, I mean, dude, not impressed, you know? And I mean, yes, 2 pitchers and a super awesome batter can take you through it, but I mean, not if you're the Yankees, I guess, because they have, an entire lineup of Posies, you know, that they're supposed to, and they can't even get in the postseason, you know? But bottom line, I mean, even Giants fans, I don't even hear them throwing it in our face, which, I mean, hey, awesome. You know, thanks for not rubbing our nose in it. But, dude, I just think it is a complete travesty that the Giants have leapfrogged us in the last couple of years, and now they have 7 World Series to our 6, and we are just so drenched in history. And I mean, even the 2 of us, I mean, to be honest, it does kind of stoke that rivalry even more, because now I'm just like seeing red trying to get to that next level. I mean, we have, at least this new ownership team has put us in a position to get to that 7th World Series and tie the Giants. I mean, you know, it would be cool if we were both tied for a minute, because then it would be a real big race to see who gets that next one. So it is stoking the fire, but still, dude, for the Giants to be able to get 2 quick ones kind of like out of nowhere and leapfrog us like that, dude, it feels like something completely unnatural is going on. And yeah, I just thought I should tell everybody about it out there. So
I mean, and the crazy thing is, it's not like this happened yesterday.
No,
it's been
dude,
a while. And like, why hasn't this
last season
been publicized?
No one from ESPN, Fox, anywhere, bro. I haven't heard anyone mention anything like that. I mean,
quick question, just real quick. Do you think that has more to do with media, or do you think that has more to do with that San Francisco-LA baseball rivalry kind of dying down?
I mean, no, it's definitely not dying down. I mean, especially with all like the, unfortunate violence and stuff that's happened recently. I mean, that will never die down. The Giants are always going to hate the Dodgers. Dodgers are always going to hate the Giants, and it's that like hateful respect, where, same kind of thing where if the, when the Celtics were playing the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago, you find yourselves rooting for the Celtics because you have that hateful respect that's just been built over decades and decades, and you don't want the quick little, franchise expansion team to, beat them out just because, they got lucky and, their franchise player pretty much forced LeBron's hand and said, oh, me and Chris Bosh are going to be in Miami. You can come here if you want to, but we're not going to Cleveland, so, it's just nowhere near as much history, and it just, you find yourself kind of, when it comes down to it, when you're not part of the equation, so to speak, pulling for those rivals once in a while. Even though I'll tell you, dude, this last World Series, I was not pulling for the Giants,
Yeah.
I did not want them to get another World Series, and it's a good thing we're kicking their ass right now in the NL West, because I do not want to have to worry about them getting to the postseason this year. Honestly, I don't think they will, though. But, dude, even in a season where they're not going to make the postseason, freaking Lincecum, oh, yeah, he throws a no-hitter. Last year, Kane, he throws a perfect game or no-hitter. Dude, where the F are our perfect games, no hitters? I mean, Greinke just has a 2-hitter the other day. Kershaw has these 1 and 2 hitters all the time. Like, dude, when are we gonna freaking get like some regular season glory? Like, honestly, I've been driving my wits end, man.
One word: Puig.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, if this guy and like we had said back in the day, man, me and my bro, ever since freaking training spring ball. Dude, we were talking about Puig back then, saying he was leading the team back then with average, bro. And we were saying, dude, how can you not bring this kid up? And I don't know, it took so long. I mean, honestly, it was the same old 4 guys in the outfield that we talk about, bro. If we still had the 3, and it wasn't feasible having 4 up there at that time. So it's just all about, health, like usual. Lakers, what's going on with the health? Dodgers, what's going on with the health? Man, hopefully my Dolphins don't freaking get that injury bug this year, because I don't know what I'll do if that happens.
Just thank God for Cedar-Sinai, right?
Jeez, honestly, bro. But that's all for me, ladies and gentlemen, as far as the Dodgers and Giants are concerned. Co, what you burning on this week?
Solo shot of the week for Mr. Kevin K.O. is something I haven't talked about in a while. I don't know.
Some nostalgic stuff?
It's going to be, I'm going to blame an organization, but I can't really hate on all the guys, who are making money or trying to make a living for themselves.
Sure.
So I'm going to have to go after the head guy. Solo shot of the week is directed straight at Vince McMahon and his company, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment.
Or as you and me have always known it, World Wrestling Federation.
No, that's when it was good.
That's when it was good.
So here's what's been going on, ladies and gentlemen. Recent news. A Redditor has been coming out, and he goes by the name of Dolphins1925. So, maybe he's a Miami Dolphin fan like Angone over here.
Maybe it's me.
He comments on one forum, and it's called the Prediction Series. And this guy is good. And he said, he commented on this thing saying, I will win this guaranteed. I know all the winners. So he sounds like any other guy at a discussion board, basically, at this point. But time goes by, event after event after event after event. And this guy is 38 for 38 in predicting the matches. Now, claims he's not just a fan. Something that he said was, he even rates it as spoilers. I'm going to tell you, this is a spoiler. I'm not predicting these anymore. And he just came out and said, I would like to clarify that I do not work for the WWE. I'm not a superstar. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm just a fan. And I have a friend who knows all this vital information. And it's leaking out. And I'm hoping to get Vince McMahon's attention over here saying, hey, your organization kind of sucks for letting out all these things. You know, it just shows that the WWE is deteriorating before our eyes. And he's coming out and saying this. And, you know, as personally, I could care less. I don't watch the WWE. Or I don't anymore. I used to watch the WWE when it was the WWF. The good old days. The Stone Cold Steve Austin days. That was my guy. The Rock. Hulk Hogan, he was getting a little old, but he was really fun to watch. You had it when Undertaker and Kane were actually relevant, and before Undertaker started getting, you know, wrinkles all over his face. You had Kurt Angle at the prime of his career. I don't even think he's working for the WWE anymore. And you just see the superstars now. I looked up who the champions are for the WWE right now, and you're so used to like Big Show. Even the small names will be big names, like the Big Show, or it'll be like a Kurt Angle, and they'll take turns getting the spotlight, right? John Cena is apparently the WWE champion, and I feel like he has been forever. And, you know, the WWE messed up when they took that WWE championship belt, and they allowed John Cena to make a rim out of it. It was the W on the belt, it could spin.
Yeah.
He spun it like it was the rim
like
of
they
his
spin
car.
it, they spin it, they spin it.
It's not cool. It's just stupid. So you got John Cena. The world heavyweight champion is Alberto Del Rio. Sounds like my neighbor next door. The Intercontinental Champion is Curtis Axel. The United States Champion is Dean Ambrose.
Do you know any of those guys?
No, I don't know a single one of these guys.
Well, other than Cena, but I mean, like, it seems like the other belts are just, you know, a way to promote more fights. You know, I mean,
and you got guys that are coming up in these power rankings that they have, like Jack Swagger, Justin Gabriel, and Christian is the only guy I still remember from the WWF days. You know, Edge, Christian, you know, Ric Flair's not even. Woo!
Yeah, honestly,
I used to love that
guy would be tight.
And all I gotta say is, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed at the WWE because it's a product that I grew up with. I used to love the WWF. I used to idolize these guys, literally. I used to love Stone Cold. I used to love the things he used to Vince McMahon. I used to love The Rock.
Yeah,
Dwayne
Rock was
Johnson.
tight, man.
He's still good in the movies he does. He's still a good actor. I used to love these guys. I used to love watching them perform. But the product is disgustingly overdone now. Who the hell is actually watching it? It used to have some substance to it.
Yeah.
It's completely bullshit now.
Yeah.
No one's watching the WWE. I haven't heard of anything from the WWE until I found out that a Redditor, a guy on Reddit, a guy sitting behind his computer screen at home, ladies and gentlemen, is leaking the outcomes of this multi-million-dollar corporation. My God. WWE, what the hell are you doing with yourselves? Either stop the bleeding or just give up, because you guys aren't doing anything right now. You haven't been in the news. You haven't been relevant. And the only reason you're relevant right now, the only reason you're on this podcast right now is because you guys are getting stabbed again and again and again and again. So please, for the sake of America, you guys aren't doing anything positive anymore. The entertainment value is zero. I'd rather watch a Dwight Howard press conference than watch a WWE show. SmackDown, Raw, I don't even care. They got something called Money in the Bank now. What's going on?
Jesus,
just
that's
stop.
rough.
Just stop it. just stop it. The best thing you could do now is bring back Ric Flair, bring back Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, bring back all the old school guys.
Bring back Stone Cold. Bring back The Rock, bring back The Undertaker, bring back Kane, bring back the Iron Dam Sheik. I don't care. Your product sucks.
Iron Sheik.
Do something about it, Vince McMahon.
That's some old
school
shit.
Do something about it, WWE. And that is my solo shout of the week, Angone.
That was good, man. The dude, speaking of Stone Cold, I saw that guy in Venice like a month or two ago. He was buying sugar-free Red Bulls at the CVS.
He lives in Southern California. He has actually a podcast.
Dude, he sounded just like him. I was right behind him. I was gonna give him like
give me a hell yeah.
Well, instead of breaking a 20 or something like that, he needed like 11 cents. So I threw him a quarter, and it didn't. I mean, he needed like exact change or something, but he still said, "You're a great human being," and I was like, "Oh my God, sweet, it's Stone Cold." And then I swear I straight up looked at him and I was like, Stone Cold? And he just gave me the nod. It was pretty funny, bro. It was pretty sweet.
Dude, oh my God.
But dude, so next week, hey, we'll update you with any pertinent Laker info. Obviously, we'll have Dodger stuff to talk about, but maybe even branch into some NFL stuff. I know there's been some stuff going on with the Hernandez case or whatever. We'll try to find something to mix it up. In the meantime, tell your friends, ladies and gentlemen, for all their local and later breaking news. You have the Angone & Co. show
and
coming at you.
Real quick, don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, dude. Come on. It's about time.
AKS Podcast. That's at AKS Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And this is on youtube.com/AKS Podcast. We bring it to you every week. The Angone & Co. show. Any last words, Angone?
Man, hopefully we'll see him next Monday and Thursday, hopefully.
Sounds good to me, man.
Peace. We out of here.